So Christopher Bell did something that no driver had done in a while, and that is win 3 races in a row at a NASCAR Cup Series. Bell did at the Shriners Children's 500 at Phoenix Raceway, an incredible side-by-side finish with his Joe Gibbs Racing teammate Denny Hamlin. Bell's win was the first time a driver had won 3 straight races since the next-gen car debuted in 2022. Bell's 20 Toyota went alongside Hamlin's 11 Toyota as both cars battled it out for the win in a final 2 quarters of a 2-lap shootout on the 1-mile track. The driver from Oklahoma got the win by a close 0.049 seconds, which was his second straight win in a spring Phoenix race. The finish was the second closest in Phoenix history. Here's Bell talking about how he managed to get the win side by side, across the line, and more, in a pumped-up interview courtesy of FS1.
How about that one, race fans? Oh my gosh, man. That was about as whenever you're sitting there dreaming it up, that's about as ugly as it gets. You put the red tires on, you're like, all right, what I don't want to happen is go like 20, 30 laps and get a yellow. Then that happened. Then we went like 10 more laps, we had another yellow, and it was just all about who could get clear on the restart. Neither of us could, and we were just racing really, really hard there coming to the line, and JGR ran 1-2, how about that?
Hamlin came up just a bit short of winning the race, but despite that, he still got his best finish of the year with his second place finish. Hamlin was leading at the white flag, however he couldn't hold out Bell, as Bell had the fastest car all day. Bell led 105 of the 312 laps in the desert. Here's Hamlin talking about his best run of the year, despite him coming so close, and more, also courtesy of FS1.
Yeah, great job by the Sport Clips team. They just got better and better as it went. Pit crew did a phenomenal job that got us, keep us in the game when we had a bad stop in the middle, and they made up for it at the end. And it was the first time we were able to get some clean air all day, and obviously our car was really fast, and I really kind of wanted it to stay green there, because I thought in the long run it's really where we were going to be able to excel, especially on these tires. But we got a good restart. The 5 really gave me a great push on the front stretch on the restart, and then down the back stretch to so I had kind of position on the 20, but I knew he was going to ship it in there, and if he had to use me, he could, and obviously we just kind of ran out of racetrack there. But great finish, and great job by the whole Joe Gibbs team to give us some fast cars.
Team owner Joe Gibbs joked after the race that having his 2 drivers battle it out for the win and finish 1-2 was a huge positive, but that battle had him on pins and needles over the course of the final laps on Sunday. It can be a tense Monday meeting if it doesn't work out, Gibbs said with a laugh. Kyle Larson of Hedges Motorsports finished third in his 5 Chevrolet. Larson was the last driver to win 3 straight races before Bell when he did it in 2021. Here's Larson talking about him having a pro row seat of the battle between Bell and Hamlin, and if he was thinking that those guys might slip up so he could get up there, and more, also on FS1.
I felt like that was my only hope, so yeah, I felt like I made the correct decisions there. I don't know, I'd have to look back at it, but I thought being patient, to try and keep them side by side down the back was good. I could have shot to the bottom, but I feel like I would have wrecked everybody there. So, and then just kind of gave ourselves a shot for them to maybe get into each other and us squeak by. So, good to finish third. I felt like we were going to be lucky to finish top 10, and pit crew did a great job there that last stop. They made good adjustments compared to our first, option tire run too. So, yeah, it got better, but need to be a lot better to have any shot to win here in the fall when it really matters. So, good to get a good, great to get a solid finish in here. It's been kind of a struggle for us here to start the year. So happy about that, and go to Vegas and try and do good again.
After Larson, Josh Berry finished 4th and Chris Buescher 5th. Berry's run was his best of the season, and that came on a day where teams had choices of what tire they wanted to use. There were 2, such as the red option tires and the yellow primary tires. This was only the second points-paid race that had those choices since the Gen 7 car first ran on the track. Goodyear was the one that gave each team 2 sets of option tires and 6 sets of primary tires. The idea of those red tires was that they were faster, but was challenging due to the fact that they wear faster. The initial reaction to those option tires being in the race was a good one. Here's Goodyear's NASCAR project manager Mark Keto talking about the option tires and more after the race. Everything went according to plan at Phoenix, and the option tire worked very well, Keto said. It gave teams a chance to vary their strategies and maximize their effectiveness to gain track position over teams that are on the primary tires. Here's more from Keto. Teams were also able to manage their options once they got track position and make them last longer until a run. Overall, we were very happy with the balance and strategy of the prime/option tire setup and how it added to the racing all day, he said. The tire option played a big factor in the race, with Ryan Preece switching to the red option tires early in the race and ended up gaining 25 spots and led 34 laps on the afternoon. Winning crew chief Adam Stevens said after the race that a lot was learned about the tires and was hopeful that the Cup Series would use those tires again. Hendrick teammates William Byron and Alex Bowman finished 6th and 7th. Kyle Busch was 8th, Zane Smith 9th, and Chase Elliott 10th. It was the third straight top 10 for two-time champion Busch, and Smith's finish was his best of the year. Here's Byron talking about the race strategy and more. It was just crazy there at the end, Byron said. We restarted 21st and got into the top 10 pretty quickly. I feel like we probably used up a lot of tire on the Reds to get those last few spots, so it was hard to get much more. I'm happy with it. The number 20 Ford Chevrolet team put together a good weekend. We learned a lot and got a solid finish, so that's something to be proud of. Catherine Legg, who is a sports car winner and has also run in the Indianapolis 500, made her Cup Series debut at Phoenix and finished 30th of the 37 cars. She drove the 78 Chevrolet for Live Fast Motorsports. The British driver also became the first woman to race in the Cup Series since Danica Patrick did it in the 2018 Daytona 500. Legg is also only the 8th woman to race in the Cup Series in the modern era, which is since 1972. Here's Legg talking about how she did, and more. It was baptism by fire, Legg said to Fox Sports. I think there's a lot of positives to take from it. Obviously, there were mistakes made, but I learned so much. Hopefully, I get to come back. Here's more from Legg on how she finished. I was so loose, I was hanging on to it, she said. We kept making adjustments. We kept making the car way more stable for me. At the end there, I think we were relatively quick, so it wasn't bad. I wish we hadn't made the changes. It was a rough start. Legg made her Cup debut after Connor Zilisch made his Cup debut at Circuit of the Americas. Tracks that are 1 mile like Phoenix normally don't have multi-car crashes. However, that wasn't the case this time around. Early in the race on lap 99, the big one occurred there, with Spire Motorsports teammates Justin Haley and Carson Holzenbar, as well as Chase Briscoe, Joe Gibbs Racing, made serious contact racing 4 wide out of turn 2, which involved and ended up taking out 5 other cars from the race. Despite his day ending early, Haley was impressed with the softer option tires and more. I wish I would have been on the option tires the whole time and everyone else on the primaries, Haley said. They just make you feel like Superman. I like the tire. I honestly feel like we should go to them everywhere. They make the cars drive a lot better. I don't know if that's what you want, but it will be interesting to see how it plays out. Other notable finishers included Joey Logano finishing 13th, Tyler Reddick 20th, Daniel Suarez 23rd, Ryan Blaney 28th, Bubba Wallace 29th, Shane Van Gisbergen 31st, and Brad Keselowski 33rd respectively. Bell will try to keep the good times rolling at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, as he's hoping to tie NASCAR Hall of Famer Bill Elliott, who is the only driver to win 4 of the first 5 races, which Bill did in 1992. The last driver to win 3 of the first 4 races was Kevin Harvick, who did it in 2018, and Bell is the 4th to do so. Congratulations to Christopher Bell on winning 3 races in a row. What an incredible accomplishment for Bell to be able to do something like that, especially with the fact that the Gen 7 car was designed to create more parity and for it to be more competitive as well. So what Bell did was pretty impressive there, especially to be able to do something like that. He had a little bit of luck on his side, especially he won the race at Atlanta Motor Speedway to start the streak just by leading the final lap under caution there. And then at Circuit of the Americas, he passed Kyle Busch there, and he led 8 laps in that race as well. So definitely, if it wasn't for a little bit of luck, he would have had the streak. But hey, you take any win you can, so definitely pretty cool for Bell to be able to accomplish something like this, especially to be able to do it in this era of racing, especially with the Gen 7 car and all that, because of the fact that it's so competitive and all that. So that'd be pretty incredible what he did there, especially. He's got the momentum right now, especially. He's a championship favorite. Obviously, what he's been able to do is pretty incredible to be able to do something like this, especially being paired with a great crew chief with Adam Stevens there especially. And I talked about Bell wins before on the channel. I talked about his first win back in 2021 when he won the Daytona Road Course, as well as in 2022 when he won at New Hampshire there as well, New Hampshire Motor Speedway. So I'll leave those videos in the description, but definitely Bell is proven to be the top driver there at Joe Gibbs Racing now, especially what he's able to do, especially. Definitely pretty close for Denny Hamlin there late in that race, especially how close he was to winning, but he'll be fine, especially he's going to get wins this year, so I'm not worried about Hamlin, but definitely that was pretty close for him to be able to win that race, especially, but give Bell credit. He wanted an incredible finish there as well, so definitely he's been getting these wins in that streak in dramatic fashion as well, so that's pretty cool for Bell, but like I said, Hamlin will be fine, so I'm not worried about him there. I want to opine about the option tires, especially with the red option tires and the yellow primary tires. That was a pretty cool thing that NASCAR brought back as well, especially it debuted at the All-Star race at North Wilkesboro Speedway last year, and it ran at Martinsville Speedway as well, like last fall, so definitely it's a pretty cool thing there, especially for the teams, to be able to have that tire option there, especially to be able to like create more competitors as well as like all that for like teams. Pretty cool storylines that happen as well, especially with Ty Dillon when he had the red option tires as well. He ran up front like later in the race there, especially. But unfortunately, he had a penalty on pit road with speeding and all that. So that cost him there, especially to be able to have a better finish. But that was pretty cool, especially with Ryan Preece, as he passed a number of drivers during the race to be able to have that kind of like tire and all that. It just creates different players up front and all that. It was pretty cool that NASCAR and Goodyear did that. So shout out to them, especially there, especially. It was pretty cool also like when you heard like Justin Haley said it was like super bad when you had those tires. Cliff Boyer and Kevin Harvick said the same thing that Haley said on FS1 as well, especially with that reference of Superman. And drivers felt like that, especially at times, because of the fact they had more horsepower and all that. Kind of felt similar to the IndyCar push to pass thing, where drivers have a little bit of that during a race to be able to get a little bit more horsepower to pass their opponents. But definitely, it's pretty cool that NASCAR and Goodyear have the option to be able to choose the option tires or the primaries. So shout out to NASCAR and Goodyear for doing that, especially. That was pretty cool that it happened like that, especially to be able to get that kind of option for the drivers and teams. So definitely that's pretty cool there, especially. But definitely Joey Logano was one of those drivers that was forced to use the strategy early on with the option tires because of the fact that he was penalized by NASCAR for being below the yellow line before the start-finish line. And Logano was not happy about that. And Cliff Boyer said on the broadcast as well that NASCAR was nitpicking about that. And it didn't look like Logano even did it that egregiously. But it is what it is there, especially. Logano served his penalty. He did bounce back, but he still wound up finishing 13th in the race because of the fact that other drivers used the option tire strategy since they still had a set. And Logano had already used up his 2 sets, so there was not much he could do there. So he was a sitting duck there as well. But it is what it is there, especially also. But definitely it's pretty cool to see Chris Myers do the post-race at all of the tracks again, especially since he had been doing just the pre-race the last couple of years besides the Daytona 500, where he does the post-race there. So definitely pretty cool with him there, especially with Jamie McMurray after every race there, especially. Obviously, the pre-race there with Cliff Boyer and Kevin Harvick. So definitely it's pretty cool that Chris Myers gets to be there for all the races pre and post. So that's a pretty good thing there, especially. And to see Larry McGriddle's back at the track for all the races there as well. Definitely it's pretty cool that he's at the track, especially to see America's crew chief there at the track at every race. That's a good thing there as well. But definitely, obviously, the broadcasting as well. Obviously, Brock Beard is very passionate about how the broadcasting is, especially. Definitely was some weird tension between Cliff Boyer and Kevin Harvick, especially with the Goodyear blip thing and all that. But it is what it is there, especially. But definitely it's been kind of sloppy with the broadcast the last couple of races there, especially with like sometimes the graphics like or other things not being timed right, like when a reporter talks, like let's say Jamie Little talks and all that. But it is what it is there, especially. But hopefully they improve that. But definitely it is what it is there. But definitely will be better to improve it just to have a better experience for the viewer and all that. But it is what it is there, especially. But yeah, congratulations again to Christopher Bell on winning their 3 straight races in a row, winning there at Phoenix. Pretty incredible, like I said, for it to be able to accomplish this. That's why I didn't want to pass up an opportunity to talk about this, because something like this doesn't happen that often, especially the fact that it hadn't happened yet in the next-gen car. So it's pretty incredible, like I said, that he got to do this, even though 3 drivers did it in 2018 with Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, and Brad Keselowski when it was the Gen 6 car. But to be able to do it in the next-gen car or Gen 7 car is just incredible, like I said. Just like hard to believe that something like this happened. So definitely incredible run there for him and for everybody there. Joe gets racing there as well. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like. And if you are brand new, subscribe. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.